Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well. It's been a couple weeks since I've done one of these, so I figured I'd kind of give you a little refresher really quick. I'm working on a game that is kind of inspired by Haunted House from the Atari 2600. So you've got your little guy, he's going to be running through a mansion, he's going to be chased by a couple of enemies, and you have a few goals. You can either get all the treasures and escape, or you can just try to escape as fast as you can. So I really only did two things for this, at least for this video. I did a sort of like a damaging pit or something like that. I'll explain how I did it in a second. Well, I guess I can do it right now. I just put a few boxes down and made them so that they were destructible to the player, but they were not destructible to the enemies. So your enemies can wander over the little pits, but the player cannot do that. It works out pretty well. You'll see kind of when I run through this in the game, I changed those pits into green just so they would stand out a little bit more. Once I do the textures, I'm wondering if I should, either make them into pits of lava, pits of acid, or just put little spikes in there as well. Something to give you an indication of, hey, maybe you shouldn't step on this or you'll die. That way it's not so much trial and error or anything like that. The other thing that I did was a little bit more complicated than that, and it was something I was really having a problem with this entire time since I started playing this game, and that was getting your enemies to actually do stuff. So I figured that one out after watching a lot of other videos trying to figure out what was the best way for me to do AI in this. You'll see I tried to do like the robots from the previous one. I tried to do a couple of other enemies in the Zelda game, but I think this one works the best, at least for me so far, until I can figure out how to do it with something else. But I have basically three players, and they are all set up to follow the player that you're controlling. And honestly, I think 3 was too many, just for the game that I have right here, because it gets pretty crowded pretty fast. Now these enemies, they don't jump, so the only thing they can do is chase after you. And it works pretty well, just with how I have this whole thing set up. You can accidentally jump on them, you can accidentally get stuck in a corner, and you do have ways to get around them, but it can get a little bit too much at times. The way I did it was to have a location sensor and then have your enemies trying to follow your characters, so they will go after your character's location. Think like Pac-Man, where they have those different, where the ghosts will basically follow you around. That's kind of the way I have it, except for my AI is much dumber than the Pac-Man AI. My enemies will just follow you, they'll slow down before they get to you, and they'll eventually kind of try to merge with your character, and that will kill you. Yeah, in order to make it a little bit more threatening and kind of a little bit scarier, there's an enemy that comes at you from the top, and then there's another enemy that's kind of waiting for you at the, not really at the bottom, but kind of in the middle of the house. And then there's an enemy outside who very quickly manages to make it inside the house. So you've got 3 things chasing after you, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure I just have 3. But it's still, at least to me, it feels like it's too many. I might delete the one from outside or something like that, because I think the pits are enough to kind of bother you with that sort of thing. One thing I'm kind of struggling with when I'm doing this is, how do I make the game fair but also incredibly challenging? Or not even incredibly challenging, just a little bit challenging. Either way, it'll change a few times. I'm not sure when I'll actually start doing the textures. It might be, if it's not next week, it'll be the week after or something like that. I don't really want to give myself an actual time because I'm just sort of doing this whenever I feel like it and whenever I have some free time on my hands. So yeah, those are the two big things that I did. Just made it a little bit more challenging, made it so your player can die, and I think I might have added another treasure or two. I'm not really sure. I can't. I did it a while ago. I can't exactly remember everything that happened, but whatever. So yeah, that's pretty much what I did. It's turning out pretty well so far. I did quite a few playthroughs for it, and it kind of got a little annoying to me. That's probably why I'm thinking about moving the different enemies around or something like that. And also the platforms are kind of annoying at the moment. I need to sort of change those around and sort of make it a little bit easier to get through things. I'm finding out that a few of the things I put in are just sort of annoying and getting in the way more than they're actually helping or that they're actually adding anything to the game. So yeah, here we are running through, and you see the little purple guy, or whatever color he is at the moment, chasing after me. I slowed down a lot just to try to really get them to follow me, so I ended up dying a few times. I don't know what it is, but it feels like they get confused at times. But, eventually they figure it out and they chase after you a little more. And yeah, you can see the different pits every once in a while. I think I might have overdid it at the end, just because it might get a little bit too crazy. But, whatever. It works out for what it is. Yeah, I was having way more fun than I probably should have trying to get the guys to follow me. And I was learning a lot, like how the paths were actually blocked when I actually tried to play the game, and they couldn't follow you in some cases. That, and when I was playing through it before, I figured I had to shorten up some of the pits because those were just kind of getting in the way a little bit. So, yeah, guys, that's going to wrap it up. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have any suggestions for this or some stuff that I did wrong, please let me know, and I'll try to fix it in the next video. Yeah, you can see here I should have moved that. I should have moved that platform. I think I did that, or at least it's on my list of random things to do. So, yeah, guys, have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Later.